But let us keep moving back in the world of the NFL with Justin Fields, the man from the Ohio State University. You know, as we know that he's been managing his epilepsy. But Isaiah, does this have a long-lasting effect on Justin Fields' potential NFL career, or does this mean he drops a little bit lower in the draft because of this issues, and teams want a quarterback that they could either start now or maybe potentially, move into a transitional system? In my eyes, I think, if this, makes Justin Fields falls back in the draft, he may get drafted to a better team and probably have a more successful NFL career than getting drafted into the top teams and having a miserable career. Because as we've seen, Ohio State quarterbacks gone in the earlier rounds don't really have that good career and become a bust. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see what plays out for Justin Fields. But I want to go for you. It's like, what do you think this means for Justin Fields in his NFL career?
Well, Trevor, I know a lot of people out there on social media and in the media in general seems to be brushing this topic off like, hey, it's not going to affect Justin Fields. He's going to be fine. But Trevor, if I were an NFL team or if I was part of an NFL team and I was evaluating Justin Fields, I'd be a little worried. I know that his doctors said that he can manage it and he could potentially outgrow it. But I had a friend who had epilepsy and, she died because of it earlier this year. And epilepsy is a very tricky neurological disease, or it's a condition. And epilepsy, it's related to the brain. And if you look at football, you see a lot of trauma to the head and the brain area. So if I were a part of an NFL franchise evaluating Justin Fields and thinking about whether to pick him to be my team's next franchise quarterback, yes, I would have a little concern about it because, like I said, epilepsy condition to the brain, condition related to the brain. Football, you see a lot of trauma hits to the head and the brain area. And if you connect those dots, I want my quarterback who I will select in the top 3. I want that quarterback to be a part of my franchise for the next 10 to 15 years. And I'm just afraid that with all the hits to the head that Fields will inevitably take in the NFL, I'm just scared that that condition will worsen because you're already having a condition to the brain. More hits to the brain will mean it might worsen than it already is right now. And I'm scared that he's going to have to retire at a very young age. And I don't want that, not only for Justin Fields. I want Justin Fields to have a long, outstanding career and to be healthy and live a long life. And also, if I'm an NFL franchise, like I said, I want my quarterback to be there 10 to 15 years, not be like guys like Jake Locker or other quarterbacks or players in the NFL that have retired at a very young age. So I would be a little bit concerned. Do I think that it causes him to drop out of the top 5 or the top 10? I don't know because it seems like that he's had this condition for his entire life and has managed it, but I'm just scared about the more hits that he will take. I'm just scared that the condition will just consistently get worse and worse throughout the years.
Yeah,